Am I the asshole for telling my wife it is time she went back to work? Throwaway account. My wife follows my main. My wife has been out of work since 2018. She had a mental breakdown during her 5th year of teaching. She has been going to therapy since, and we started marriage counseling during COVID. Reason for marriage counseling was because she thought I was pushing her too hard to go back to work before her, and her therapist thought she was ready. I tried to explain many times that was not my intent, but realistically speaking, for me to keep up with expenses and retirement contributions, I pretty much have to take on extra shifts which sometimes clock in over 18 hours a day, and on average I have been pulling 84-hour weeks. I have been doing this since she stopped working. We recently had a fight cause I had an extremely rough week and had the conversation again about her going back to work. She opened up with the same line she always does: "We do not feel it is the right time yet." She feels I have made great progress, and if I rush it I run the risk of losing it. The we being her and therapist. I told her I really do not give a fuck what her therapist has to say, and I am sick of you hiding behind her words whenever this topic comes up. She started to cry, telling me she does not like being this way either, and I am belittling her due to suffering from mental health issues. I replied saying I do not indeed to belittle you or not take your issues seriously, problem as I am running myself ragged, and what happens if I have a mental break? Do you think I will have the luxury of not working? No, I will have to push through my demons. She said her therapist warned her this would happen sooner or later. I would try to manipulate her into doing something she was not ready to do. This is when I really lost it and just let it all out. I did not say anything kind. I told her she insults me for thinking what I am doing is manipulation. I told her I am working these extra shifts so she can be home and bullshit playing games. I told during this entire time you have not even made an effort to improve on certain skills. I told her she can still not cook to save her life, and that was sick of coming home after 12 or 18-hour days just make us dinner, cause her idea of making dinner as pretty a pre-made in the oven or ordering out. Among other things, that said she stormed out the house crying, yelling and shouting how I am a piece of shit, and rather see myself comfortable versus her getting better. So here I am. I do not feel at the core I am wrong. And while what I said was harsh, I think it did have to be said. So Reddit, was I the asshole here? Hey, I appreciate the replies. Going to leave a quick update to answer and clarify what I can. I apologize if I miss something. Thank nonetheless. Yes, I have been to a couple of sessions with my wife and her therapist. TBH, it largely felt I was getting ganged up on. My wife brought up how I was always tired, so I explained I am working harder to maintain our home. When I suggested part-time work would allow me to work less, their counter-suggestion was to cut things like saving for retirement, and hold off on paying off debt, and tackle such things after my wife gets better. Then I suggest renting out the house to cover the mortgage and we downsize to an apartment. Her therapist said such a drastic change to her environment could have a negative impact on her depression, and advises against such major life-changing events. During another session she brought up how my suggestion she tries cooking to save as money so we do not order so much. She felt insulted because in terms of money coming in I am making slightly more than our combined income, and she was able to cover her expenses, so she does not understand why we are having such a hard time. I was honest, it has less to do with money per se and more so the fact the amount of hours I have to work to maintain the income. I told her I pretty much am working 2 full-time jobs. The cooking or doing things around the house was dropped fairly quickly and became a critic on how I cannot manage money since I am making more, yet I never had issues when she was working with how she spent. More or less every session became what I could do to help my wife, and I get it, her therapist has to look out for my wife and generally my concerns are small compared to my wife's. My wife is not a huge fan of our marriage counselor because she offers suggestions that go against her therapist. My friend has also suggested I speak with a lawyer to see exactly what my options are. After reading many of the comments and thinking back on everything, I think I am going to do that. I love my wife and I know she is sick, but I am good to no one if I keep up this pace. Final edit. Thank you so much for the replies and advice. Was a slow morning, only had one field call, so I was looking over the thread with a colleague and close friend. After talking, I have decided to put in a request for 2 weeks vacation. During that time I am going to relax with my friends, play some Baldur's Gate 3 and also get my shit together. Going to speak with a lawyer and see what my options are, cause I was young and dumb and much of her debt is mine because I co-signed and have a joint account. I will go to the doctor for the first time in 4 years and make sense everything is still working as it should. During this time my friend said I could crash at their place, so I am going to take him up on that offer. This will be my final post here though. Going over this, I made this post for all the wrong reasons. This is something that should not have been posted publicly and I was petty for that. Even so, I thank everyone because a lot of what was said was what I needed to hear. I do not have much in terms of a family, both my parents passed. Thanks for the tough love. Something has to change, and if my wife is unable I have to do it. I am young, I should be enjoying my life. I am not even 30 yet, as my friend said. I aged so much in these last 5 years, it is scary. My friend showed me pictures from before all this happened. I want to go back to the person I was then. I agree I was the asshole for what I said, but I do not regret it. It was a wake-up call I needed. Not the asshole. You need to consider if this relationship is still for you. Do you have kids? Please say, no. Unfortunately, your wife is selfish and only cares about herself. You're working yourself to the bone to provide for someone who wouldn't do the same for you. Pretty surprised you held out this long. I'd have been out the door in 2020. Woozy face. Not the asshole. Also, there are a few questions for your wife's therapist. Did her therapist actually tell her you would try to manipulate her to go back to work? That sounds highly unprofessional and giving cause to create a rift in your marriage. Rather than confronting your wife over the work situation, maybe suggest to her that she should change therapist because your wife isn't making progress with her current one. Dated a therapist for a while, called it off when she said that it was so easy to manipulate people to keep that $275 an hour rolling in. Just over a year later, the police were asking serious questions. Apparently a client permanently ended things for her. Not the asshole. It sounds harsh, but she's dead weight. If you don't leave, working will kill you. Cut the tether and see how quick she figures something out, because she's not being enabled to be lazy and entitled. Am I the asshole for threatening to kick my stepdaughter out unless she apologizes to my daughter? I, 40 male, have a daughter, Nina, 12 female. I also have a stepdaughter, Kelly, 16 female, and me and my wife, Anna, have a child, 6 female, together. This is about Nina and Kelly. I have met my wife when Kelly was 5 and within a year she and Kelly moved in with me. The house we live in has been in my family for generations and passed on to me when I was really young. I have also made some renovations there. It is a 4-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms. One is downstairs and is a guest one, with 3 upstairs. One is shared between 2 rooms. So each girl has her own room and an ensuite, which is especially helpful with Kelly due to how long she now takes with her makeup. This has started about a month ago when Nina would come home crying due to bullying at her school. Me and Anna spend ages trying to get the school to do something and find out where the bullying comes from. It all came to a conclusion a week ago when we found out that it was Kelly who was spreading the rumors about Nina. I was furious and confronted her about it, as some rumors were based on Nina not having a mum. She died during childbirth. Kelly didn't take the confrontation very well. She accused me of favoring Nina. Nina has slightly bigger bedroom but smaller bathroom, and Kelly wanted more space. I said I am not going to move Nina out of her room after all these years, and Kelly has already declined to swap with us as she doesn't want to share her bathroom with anyone, including our 6-year-old. I have told Kelly that she must apologize to Nina as some of the things she said were vile and not deserved, and told her she will be grounded as she still behaved like Nina's friend while spreading those rumors behind her back. Kelly threw a fit and claimed Nina is a threat to her and her reputation, but I stayed firm as I don't see how a 12-year-old can be a threat to a high schooler. As Kelly started saying more vile things about Nina and our 6-year-old, I have told her she has 48 hours to pick her belongings and I will be dropping her off at her dad's. She visits him every other week, where she will have to share a room and the bathroom with her other half-siblings. Kelly and Anna are both annoyed at me over this and have called me an asshole. Anna said I have no right to parent Kelly, but she is in my home and her behavior towards my daughters is not acceptable. Edit. I might have worded it wrong. By dropping her off I don't mean Kelly will be living at her dad's permanently. This is until she apologizes to Nina for the things she said to her and about her, and to me and Anna over what was said about our 6-year-old, since some of it was unnecessary, cruel and untrue. Edit. I know it is late, but here is a small update. I have spoken to Anna about what Kelly said about Nina and our 6-year-old and have also showed this post. Anna has apologized for brushing it off. She said Kelly didn't tell her most of the story and blamed others on the rumors, and she haven't realized the extent of it. She will be having a conversation with Kelly and Kelly's dad tomorrow, as this behavior is not acceptable or appropriate. To put it lightly, she is horrified of the comments made by her about both girls and finds it vile. She is also shocked that Kelly made them in the first place. Now to address some of the comments. Having Kelly to go and live with her father is a temporary solution and never intended to be permanent, especially if she changes her ways. It was more to separate her from Nina and 6yo to make sure no more damage is done while we are not watching. If roles were reversed and it was Nina who is at fault, I would have sent her to her grandparents to sort out the next move. I have seen a lot of suggestions about therapy. Anna said she will book it as soon as she has a chat with Kelly as she wants to know what caused a sudden change. I'm not cutting Kelly from my will, unless she carries on displaying such anger towards her sisters. I'm not selling TS tickets either since it is something Kelly wanted to attend for years. However, if there's no progress it will be my wife and her friend going to see TS. Nina is having a few days off from school and I will be taking her out to the zoo and spending some father-daughter time together. I will also ask if she feels she wants therapy to talk things through. Me and Anna will also be taking our 6yo to see some cartoons this weekend and to her favorite cafe. Nina can come too, but she is usually busy at the riding school on the weekends. Info. What kind of rumors is Kelly spreading? Can you give us some examples? I'm trying to understand the degree of bullying. Not the asshole. And as for your edit, you should send Kelly to her dad permanently. There's no coming back from what she said. Ultimately, you have a wife problem. Kelly is a brat, a 16-year-old, clearly jealous of a 12-year-old. I applaud you for looking after your 12-year-old and protecting her from Kelly. Your wife is one to watch, though. If she is defending the disgusting acts of her daughter over yours, who never got the chance to have her own mum around, the apple is sitting right next to the root of the tree. If you choose to stay with this woman, you must protect your 12-year-old legally every way possible. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and consider dropping both your wife and the evil Kelly both at the ex's house. Am I the asshole for telling my mom she and my baby brother ruined my summer? Update. I, F16, graduated high school in June. Yes, I graduated early. My mom is currently 8 months pregnant and she just had my baby brother Ben in October of 2021, so he's almost 2. My full-blood brother Sam, M14, was with our dad, who lives 8 hours away, all summer, and just got back 2 days ago. My stepfather works, so for most of the day, it is just me, my mom, and Ben. I am with Ben in the morning for 2 hours. During this time, I feed him breakfast, change his diaper, and play with him. I also make my mom coffee and breakfast. My mom sleeps during this time. She wakes up around 9:30 and eats breakfast. Around 10, I walk my dog. When I get back, I put Ben to sleep. My mom plays on her PC during this time. When Ben wakes up, I make his lunch and she feeds him. Then, I have to take him outside to walk him. Then, I have to take him to water the plants. I have to fetch whatever my mom needs since she can't go up and down the stairs. On top of doing all this, I had 2 online classes I was taking. I also had a sick dog I was taking care of. With Sam gone, most of the house chores fell on me. It's a lot to handle. I never complained about any of it. I don't know if it's the pregnancy, but my mom has been extremely mean. It only takes her 5 minutes after seeing me to start complaining about something I did wrong. She constantly calls me lazy and compares me to kids my age who have driver's licenses, jobs. These are things I want, but I literally do not have the time to because of all my jobs at home. This summer, I wanted to go to see my brother and dad just for a week because I miss them. My mom said no because I had to take care of my dog. Fair, I guess. I used to go downtown to the library and she said I can't go anymore because I didn't do insert chore, or she needs someone to help with Ben. Right. I wanted to take myself to the movies. No. I want to go to the fair with my brother Sam. No. Yesterday was college orientation. Not only did she text me while I was there complaining about me not telling her we ran out of dishwasher pods, but when I got home, she ranted at me for 20 minutes about how I always ditch my responsibilities. School starts tomorrow and I'm so exhausted and sad. I wanted this to be a fun summer. After yelling at me and then telling me to go buy dishwasher pods last night, my mom made me tell her what was making me so upset. I told her I wasn't ready to share it, but she threatened to take away my computer, which I paid for and also need for college, so I did. I told her I was tired of doing everything for her, that I felt underappreciated, and that she and Ben ruined my summer. She said she was more than capable of taking care of Ben on her own and sent me to bed. It's the next day and she won't talk to me. She also won't let me help with Ben. I am a little relieved because it's been a long time since I've had time to myself, but I also feel sorta bad. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Who's the mother here? I can't speak on behalf of pregnancy, because I am a man, but I don't see how it's a valid excuse to dump all of your duties on your child. Not the asshole. She decided to have more kids but doesn't want to care for your little brother because it is easier to make you do it. You are 16. You did great by graduating early from HS. You need to start college and focus on being a student. College is different from high school, it is more work. A lot more work. Talk to your dad. Can you move out of your mom's house and go to college? Oh my god, please tell your dad this. Not the asshole. Maybe look into emancipation or living with your dad, as your mom is abusing you. See if you can get your dog someplace safe as well, as your mom seems rather vindictive. Send this post to your dad. He needs to see it. Am I the asshole for refusing to eat food that was bought for me? I've never been a picky eater. In fact, I'd eat anything. However, for the past couple of years I've had a horrible phobia of anyone touching food, talking near food, cooking the food and having to touch it. This isn't that horrible. If I don't see them touching the food I can manage, for some reason. It's a horrible paranoia, and I hate living with it. People touching food is completely normal and I hate myself for feeling this way. Just the idea of eating it makes me want to vomit and I start gagging. It really isn't a joke. It's horrible. Yesterday we went to the beach with a few friends and one of them asked me if I wanted chips. I was excited and said yes, and he bought them for me. However, when we got to the beach, which absolutely disgusts me by itself, I didn't even take my clothes off and sat in a corner without touching the sand. I'm disgusted by everything. His little sister grabbed the bag and put her hand in and started eating straight out the bag. My heart dropped. My friend told her to give me the bag, but I said I was feeling nauseous and didn't want to eat it. He got upset because he bought it just for me. I know it sounds fucked up, but the phobia really is absolutely horrible and it happens with everything. Even sitting on a hammock someone has already sat on. I completely get why he's upset because he bought it for me, but I can't bring myself to eat it and his sister could eat it. I know it sounds petty and it probably is, but it's so much worse than you can imagine and I really do hate myself for it. I want to think I'm the asshole, but I really do find it impossible. I won't even bother explaining it to him cause I know he'll start insulting me and making fun of me over it. Edit. A lot of people are saying I need therapy. I know it's a really serious issue, but how do I explain this to anyone? I'm disgusted by everything. Laying down on a towel with a wet bikini, sand getting stuck to me, someone's foot touching my bare skin. However, I don't have an issue with holding hands. If they're clean enough, obviously. Eating food I haven't seen anyone touch when cooking. Sharing a drink with very specific friends, but only sometimes. It's literally so random, like my brain is disgusted sometimes. I don't have an issue with kissing either or anything sexual. God, it's just so random, like certain things that should disgust me do, but things that could just don't. It really isn't something I think can be fixed with therapy. It's just how my brain works. Second edit. I've been in therapy before. For months I was in therapy and God, I hated it. I really think I subconsciously tried to give myself reasons not to need therapy. Back when it started, my parents were extremely worried. I got treated like nothing but a mentally ill person and everyone just had pity for me. If my parents even see me asking for therapy again, it's all going to start again. I won't go into detail, but God, it was an absolutely horrendous state of my life and I really don't want to go through it again, even if it means I'll have to live with the constant disgust. IDK if you at the asshole, but you definitely need therapy. This isn't an issue of asshole or not, but like others have said, you need to seek out therapy. Regarding the question in your edit, you explain the issue exactly the way you did here. I guarantee it won't even be the strangest thing a therapist heard that week. Get help. If it's really as bad as you say, you need treatment. Nah. You need help beyond what this forum can provide. This is hard. You're not an asshole since it's a phobia and it seems you genuinely can't control it, but still to tell him you don't want the food he just bought you is kinda rude. I'd say talk to some family and/or try to arrange a visit to the doctor. They can check out your phobia and try to find a way to get past it.